Good day to our learners. Our topic for today is in Skills Handbook 2, Lesson 3, titled What is the Design Process? So let's proceed. So this is in page 381 of your book. What is a design process? A design process is a set of steps for developing products and process that solve problems. Remember the meaning of technology. Technology is a invention, okay, that it's an invention. It could also be a process that helps to make our life easier. At the same time, it also help us to solve problems. Usually, design process, the engineers are doing this so that their work will be easy. But not all engineers doing this. Some IT technologists, they're also called engineer in this day, so they are doing also design process so that their work will be easy and organized. So we have here steps of design process. Okay, the first step is identify the problems, do research. After that one, develop the possible solution. After that one is choose one solution, and then next is design and construct a prototype. Next is test the prototype and communicate the result, and lastly evaluate and redesign. So we will discuss this step in this presentation. So number one, what a person who designed a technology is called. So a person who designed technology is called an engineer. This is not a job, but this is a noun this is a noun for a person, okay, who designed technology. Because we all thought that engineer is the one building bridges, buildings, houses, and cars and other things. But engineer is just simply when they develop new technologies, you are also considered as an engineer. So as young as you girls, if you develop or invent something, you could also be an engineer, because a word engineer is just simply designing a technology. Okay, so let's go to number 2. Let's predict. Why is it important to use the design process when developing a new technologies? This is very important. Why? Because the design process can help you organize the idea and make a plan. Because when you create something, planning and being organized helps you to finish your project easily. Okay, so let's start the first step. Step number 1 is identify the problems. So remember that scientists, they help us to solve problems. So before they solve the problem, they need to identify or know the problem. So here, Dr. Kinyu Komiyama is an engineer in the field of dentistry. So he is a dentist who invented a kind of toothbrush. Okay, and then this toothbrush is an electric toothbrush. Okay, so remember we have a conventional toothbrush before, the old style of toothbrush, the manual, when you brush your teeth. Okay, so the one that you buy usually in supermarket, that is a conventional toothbrush. Okay, but Dr. Konyo Kumiyama invented an electrical toothbrush which helps our brushing easier. Okay, and then he identified a problem. What is the thing that he identified before? He identified before that a toothbrush that cleans teeth with less effort. So he wants that to solve that issue, because in Japan they really invent many things. Okay, so they want Dr. Kunio wants to help us to brush our teeth in less effort. Okay, but at the same time, it solves the issue of reducing the cavities in our gums and in our teeth. Okay, so after identifying the problem, let's do a research. So this is the second step. So scientific journal, magazine, and internet, informational books, and encyclopedia are the resources or materials that could help us to do research. Okay, we could also do a field research. We could also ask people, do an interview to doctors and other experts in the field. That is also doing a research. So let's answer number 3. What kind of product would you make to help solve problem? Who would you, who would your product help? Okay, so the possible answer is, this is just my answer, okay? You could answer on your own. Possible answer is, I would make a talking calendar for people who are forgetful, especially, when you are busy. So a talking calendar is very helpful to a teacher like me, because it will remind you of the date, time, and then the things that you know to do in a certain time and certain date. Okay, so you could write here as a student, what are the technology or what are the things that you want to invent, and how could it help you? Okay. And number 4, identify, underline the source you would use to find out whatever scientists are working on. So these things. So journals, magazine, internet, and informational books and encyclopedia could help us to do research. Let's proceed to the next slide. After doing research, we will develop a possible solution. So we will do problem solving here. So using what they learn in the research, scientists and engineers think of ways to improve existing technology. So we have here a technology. A regular toothbrush is a form of technology. This is a regular toothbrush, right? Because people before, when they want to clean their teeth, they use bark of trees, they use leaves to clean their teeth. But since people invented toothbrush with bristles, so it is just like a fiber of a branch of the tree or fiber of the leaves that help teeth to clean. So they invented something like this with bristles. So bristles are like the fiber plastic that helps our teeth clean when you're scrubbing it in your teeth. So let's answer number 5. Look at the drawing below. What information can you find in the drawing? So this is the drawing, right? So you have here the long bristles, the firm bristles, the finger grip, the rounded edge of the brush, and then the thumb holder. The possible answer here is, you can find out the shape and the features. Features are the information, okay? The thing that is written here are the information of the toothbrush. So when you are inventing something, illustration is very important, so that if someone might read your research, they might know which is the bristle, which is the handle, which is the grip, which is the flexible area, so on and so forth. So that's it. So what is the difference between the two? So you have here the conventional or the old style toothbrush, and then you have here this toothbrush. This toothbrush use advanced technology. It works very well, but it costs more than a regular toothbrush. Why? Because they use a technology here. Compared to this one, it is just made up of plastic. This one is also made up of plastic, and then this is rechargeable or it is powered by battery. So it is more expensive compared to this kind of toothbrush. Okay, so let's go here. Uh, after this step, developing possible solution, let's go to the next step, which is choose one solution. It is impossible to choose wisely the one solution you will build. Making many solutions may take too much time. At the same time, it will be costly. It will be expensive for you. That's why when you are making a research, choose one possible solution so that it will not consume your time. At the same time, you will not spend a lot of money. Because remember, like when you were doing an experiment in the school, when you choose a lot of experiment for exhibition or for your science fair, you will buy many things. At the same time, it will consume a lot of your time. Okay, that's why scientists only choose one solution to avoid wasting time and to avoid wasting too much money. Okay, so that is the answer for number 6. Now let's proceed to next slide. After making one solution, you need to make a prototype. A prototype is an example of your product. This is the first sample of your product. That is a prototype. A prototype is a version of the solution. Okay, in science we call it prototype, or the first example that you made to test. Okay, then this will help you to know if your product is effective or not effective. Okay, so let's answer number 7. Why do engineers build prototype of their design solution? Possible answer is they cannot tell if their design solution works until they build it and test it. So the prototype is the first sample product they do, and then they will test it in certain procedure, and then they will tell if this is successful or not. If it is successful, they can produce many kind of it. But if it is not successful, they need to study it again, or they need to do a research about the materials again. And then the next step after making a prototype, they need to test the prototype. Okay, so of course, when you make something, for you to prove that this is effective or not effective, you need to test it. Okay, so that's answer number 8. What do you think this toothbrush is made of? Why do you think the engineers use those materials? So by making a prototype, you could answer this question. It is made up of plastic. Because you cannot tell that this toothbrush is made up of plastic unless you see it, unless you touch it, unless you feel it, right? A plastic was used because it is lightweight and flexible. Imagine if your toothbrush is made up of metal. Do you think it could help to solve do you think it could solve your problem with your gums and tooth? Of course not, because it is not lightweight, it is not flexible. At the same time, metal could be sharp and then it could harm your gums. Okay, so let's go to number 9. What do you think is one important thing that must be done when making a test to evaluate your prototype? Evaluate meaning to check the detailed part of your sample. The possible answer is it is important to take careful measurements, okay, when you're doing a test. By the way, girls, nowadays they are using an eco-friendly toothbrush. They call it a wooden toothbrush. So instead of using plastic, they use bamboo, and then the fiber of the bamboo to make a bristle for the toothbrush. So it is also one way of saving the environment by using wood like bamboo for a toothbrush. Okay, that is also a technology, but it is more environmental friendly compared to this plastic. Remember, plastic is harmful to environment. Okay, so let's go here. Next, after testing your prototype and evaluating your prototype, you need to communicate the result. You need to record the result. At the same time, you need to write your mistake. You need to tell it to other people so that you have some idea how to improve your product. Then next is evaluate or redesign. You need to check what is your mistake. If you have a mistake, you need to redo it again or redesign your product again so that you will go successful to your invention. So let's try to answer number 10. Why do you think an engineer might redesign a prototype? Possible answer is something may not work correctly or solve the problem in the first try. That's why you need to redesign, from the word re meaning repeat. And number 11, what might happen if you fail to document your design? You might not be able to rebuild or improve it if you are not writing your result. That's why recording is very important, or writing your result. And number 12, evaluate. Look at the redesigned prototype below. It has an improvement such as a better handle. Work with partners. Tell why you think the handle is better designed. Okay. Have you observed some toothbrushes just plain? It is smooth. Okay. But some toothbrush is more thick, more harder, more flexible. So why they're doing that one? So that they test which is better. Okay. Or which is good to your gums and teeth. Okay. The possible answer is the handle has place to put your thumb or better grip. or better code.